Well, we should be looking at the World Wide Web by now.
Well, does the World Wide Web look like two old coots with nose hair?
I hope not.
Then all I'm seeing is our reflection in the monitor.
Did you try clicking on the mouse?
We have mice?
Oh, no, the computer mouse.
Well, no wonder this is such a cheesy computer.
Oh, would you please just try to pay attention?
Well, if you'd say something worth
guys,
hearing...
what are you doing?
What does it look like?
Yeah, we're surfing the World Wide Web.
Well, it might help if you turned the computer on.
Turn the computer on?
Well, that's what he said.
Well, anything's worth a try.
Yeah.
So, do you come here often?
Hey, sweetie, what's your sign?
Yeah, would you like to see my etchings?
You ever get a mustache kiss?
Hey, God bless you. Maybe seated as a Reverend Schnorr. How you doing? Good to see you. And we're going to start this like we usually start everything. It says right here, it says, I may be going to hell in a bucket, baby, but at least I'm enjoying the ride. I want you to think about that. Now, we're going to bring in Brother Carlito and see what the hell he's got on tap for us tonight. Brother Carlito, are you in there? Hello?
Reverend.
Brother Carlito, how are you?
I'm eating.
You
Want to see some smell-o-vision?
What do you got?
Starts with a P and ends with an S. Portillo's hot dogs.
You had me fooled for a second there, but I would rather that. Oh, man, I'm jealous. Where's mine?
Oh, I worked out today, and, the new me, I got to wash it down with a hot dog.
Good for you. I didn't do either today. I got to wash it down with a beer.
Okay. I'll tell you what we got on tap today. We have warning. The Royals are still, well, you could read. And
Right.
Cancel this, Rev. That's what I got.
I got
Always during the Rev show, sunny and 69.
Beautiful. I love that. Lots of people joining us here.
Oh,
On
my
the
God.
side. I see the congregation's filling up.
Lots. Ray, Mike, Jennifer. Holy Christ. Everybody
Greg.
gets a pass on church today.
Nelson Toll, Katie.
You like that, Nelson Toll. See, Nelson pays attention.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, people might have noticed. It's a new day and age now. Everything comes with a warning. All right? We had to start our show with a warning today because things are getting a little dicey out there. And if you don't have a warning, people might get offended.
Mm-hmm.
If people get offended, they cancel you. And then not like it used to be, like a TV show sucks, so it got canceled. I mean, like they X you out. Like you are no more good until you make a tearful apology. Or maybe sometimes that doesn't even work. You're done for. And we don't want to be done for, okay? So we're going to warn you before you tune in. If you're lightweight or if you're easily offended, guess what? You're going to be. I don't hold back. Brother Carlito doesn't try to rein me in too much. And we talk about real things that go on. Sometimes real things aren't real pretty. So buckle up and enjoy the ride. If you don't like it, well, you know better. And you won't tune in again next time. Weenies. So let's get started first. There's a lot of things that we grew up with that are getting canceled or maybe they're not getting canceled because they can still make money. Come with a warning label. And not like the kind you find on your mattress. I mean, these are ridiculous warning labels. The Muppets. The Muppets say, I've been watching the Muppets since before I could shit in my pants. I've been watching the Muppets. And they never offended me. I don't remember them being offensive. But nowadays, the Muppets are offensive. And I went back and I found some Muppet clips, some old Muppet clips, so we could take a look back at what the Muppet show and see, were they really offensive? Or are we just being soft today?
So this is going to be crowd participation, correct?
Oh, no, I got clips.
Oh, no, but I'm saying our congregation is going to add to this, too. We're going to have to see what they think.
You tell me, you watch these clips and let me know if you think that the Muppets that I show you are offensive.
All right. I'm gonna pay attention to our congregation today. My eyes are on them, and that's a warning.
Keep your ears on the Muppets. Your eyes on the congregation. You see any hanky panky there, you stop it until I can join it.
Understood.
Okay.
Aye, Captain.
Oh, that's that gets canceled right away. I didn't mean to do that. That's not a good salute. Come down there. Okay, anyhow. So let's put this into historical context. These are the Muppets, 1975 and 77, I think, is the years. And
About 45 years ago.
holy crap. I guess 45 years ago. When you look back and you start thinking of, I remember in the 80s, when 50 years ago was the 30s, we thought, wow, why's that guy got black paint on his face? He's dancing with Shirley Temple. That was offensive. I didn't realize that the Muppets were as old as Al Jolson. But I guess time has moved on, and they are now. So here we go. This is from the mid-70s. You let me know if the Muppets are offensive here. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, here you go.
Okay, right now I'd like to introduce Ben Vereen, a of a...
Did somebody say
Hit the dirt! Hey, listen, you want to have George clean up that mess?
I didn't know they used that word that often.
Not at all.
No, I thought George Jefferson used it a lot. I didn't know the Muppets did.
Maybe they were saying, like, watch out, he's going to blow some shit up.
I don't know. It
you
didn't sound like that. It
Can
sounded
you watch
like,
that clip again?
Yeah, stand by. Here we go. Get ready. It gets beeped. I couldn't put the words on my broadcast in good consciousness. So your mind's just going to have to fill in the beep. Ready? Here we go.
Okay, right now I'd like to introduce Ben Vereen, a of a...
Did somebody say
Hit the dirt! Hey, listen, you want to have George clean up that mess?
Wow.
Yeah, you tell me. What's the congregation saying? Is that offensive?
Nelson says he wishes Sammy was here tonight because he's a huge Muppets fan. Skylar saying blazing Muppets. I see what you did there, Skylar. What else?
The sheriff is a Muppet.
Yes. Boobs are offensive. Beeps are offensive. Sorry.
Beeps are offensive. Boobs are not offensive.
No, they're compliment.
Okay.
Katie's going with no.
That's not offensive. No.
All right. What do you got next, Rev?
It's not just racial things that have become we're more aware of now. It's kind of sexual things and identity and Me Too stuff. You know, Hollywood used to be, they would have people whose jobs it was to be used, basically. I didn't realize the Muppets were as Hollywood as they were back in the 70s. Here's a clip I found with guest star Elton John.
Kermit, I know you like to make your guests feel at home on the show, but don't you think in the dressing room's overdoing it a little?
Oh, well, you see, I've been meaning to talk to you about this. You see, we've got a gopher around here, and...
We've had frogs, chickens, now a gopher.
Yeah, well, you see, that's an old theatrical term. A gopher is somebody you have around to per Isn't that interesting?
That is interesting. I don't remember Muppets doing that back in the day, but a lot of things went over my head. You know, I would watch things like Chico and the Man. I had no idea what it was about. I just thought it was a young guy and a crabby old guy. But it was really about, you know, race and getting along and everything.
I'm still eating my hot dog, Rev. My hot dog.
Exactly. Back in the day, you could have a gopher eat that for you.
Now, check this out. Nelson, be careful. Because, Reverend, did you know that there was a casting couch joke set out in the Toy Story that actually got cut out? You better be careful because they may take the Toy Story off.
Right. They're going to have to put a warning in front of Toy Story if that was there, or it would just get canceled all completely and go the way of Ellen DeGeneres, you know. So, or worse. Oh, God. Lots of them. Lots of Kevin Spacey. It would go the way of Kevin Spacey. That would be Ellen DeGeneres cried, and people said, "Okay, you can come back." But Kevin Spacey cried, and people said, "Go to hell." So yeah, it's a good thing. I didn't know that, Nelson told. I assume it had something to do with Little Bo Peep, because that's who I'd put on the casting couch if I was producing a Toy Story. Me, I don't know that Cowgirl wasn't all that, but Little Bo Peep, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. You know, did she lose her sheep?
I'd certainly be willing to help her find them.
Nelson, when you come to Chicago, Portillo's is on the Rev. Definitely not me, because Rev don't pay for shit.
I'll show you how you sneak out the back door with it. Anyhow, so that's why there's warnings in front of Muppets now.
You bet.
They talked about dildos and use the N-word, apparently, from what I can tell.
You know what we might not be able to show anymore pretty soon?
What's that?
Well, there's quite a few things.
What you want, boy?
What if I identify as a jagoff?
Now, Rev, I don't want
Yes.
you to get soft on this show.
So, how are you holding up, dear? It's been a difficult year, that's for sure.
I can't play the rest. We have to put a warning sign on it before we start.
Warning sign. We don't have time for another warning sign, for Christ's sake.
No.
So, those are. I'll come back. This is all warnings in cancel culture, and that's no good.
Right.
It's no good. And I will go off on that later because, as you see, it's over there. We started here. We'll end up over there. But first, we got that there.
And what do you got?
Well, there's a big meeting in England today. Well, not today, but this week. Big meeting at a Crown Jewels, and they got their jewels out, and they had a big meeting.
Isn't it amazing that they always dress like they're going to one of those expensive horse races? See?
There you go. Ask and you shall receive.
Certain parts of the year, she may be from Kentucky.
Exactly. Like she wakes up and has a mint julep. That's what she does. And you can do that when you're the queen. So anyhow, like we said last week, these two said, hey, we won the lottery, but we're going to turn our back on it. We don't want it no more. We're going to move to America and become Hollywood stars. And Oprah said, okay, cool. I'll help you out. But the queen said, hold on there, little fella. And so she's a nice lady as a grandma. Not a very nice grandma, but a nice queen. She said, listen, we're going to let you go play house for a year. And after a year's up, I'm going to take another look at this. And I'll decide the hell I'm going to do with you twos if you don't wake up and smell of coffee. Or, well, I guess tea out there. So she took a look at it, and she said, hey, you're out. You want to be out? You're out. And you get none of your royal badges here. They all go away, and your honors. Well, now, the most recent thing is now she gets to decide who gets to, she's going to basically divvy up his awards and honors and hand them out to other people in the family. I think they should go to Claire Foy just for being her. She's not in the family, but she's hot. I'd give her my jewels.
But they didn't earn them.
Doesn't matter. It's royal family stuff. Like, you think, like, if you were a regular general guy or something in the army, you don't get fancy sashes and ribbons and medals like them. They got to earn regular ones. These are special ones. Not that they weren't brave and did. I mean, this guy flew a helicopter. Most people don't know how to fly. Harry did. Red did the ginger. But a lot of his awards and honors are only for people who born into the wealthiest welfare family in the world.
Right.
But now the old lady says, no more. You don't want to be part of us. We're snipping them things off, and we're going to hand them out to other people. You're not the only one in the family who can fly a helicopter. So he's losing all his stuff. and she's going to divvy it up. But he gets to keep Oprah. So it's nice.
You know why?
I don't know why.
Because Oprah gave him a car.
You know he's got to pay taxes on it?
Even if he's from out of this country?
Well, maybe not. No, you're right. He's an immigrant. He don't got to do nothing.
Now,
and that's another thing. Who opened the wall for that guy? All these hardworking people waiting to get in here, right? Yeah, lots of people south of the border. They want to come here and make a better life for themselves because they're struggling because their country there's not a lot of opportunity there, and America's got lots of opportunity. And this clown gets a cut in front of everybody. He gets to jump in line. Why? Because he's rich and he's a royal. I didn't even think of that, Brother Carlito. Son of a bitch. Who the hell does this guy think he is? He's going to jump in line in front of a bunch of people who are working hard. They're trying to come here and make a life for themselves. And this rich piece of garbage who's friends with Oprah can jump in front of the line on everybody else, get in the back of the goddamn line and come into the country like everyone else is supposed to. That, or at least you should have to climb the wall.
He might have flew a helicopter over here.
You know what? You know, a lot of them kinds of Europeans, they sneak in through Canada.
Now, Rev, I got to talk to our congregation for a second. There's a great question here. Thomas Cross might have been late to the party. 10 jumping jacks, buddy. But his question is, and I'm going to answer it for him. If they put a warning sign on you, Rev, what would it say? Well, Thomas the Cross, we had a warning sign today. Rev, why don't you fill it out for him?
Warning. Following contains the opinions of a mean drunk over 40 and may be offensive to some viewers. Viewer discretion is advised, you weenies.
There you go, Thomas Cross. We're here to inform and educate.
Consider yourself deformed and educated. So anyhow, I didn't even think of that. We got lots of people want to come in this country. Most of them are struggling, trying to make it a life. You know, they come here without their kids and without their wives or without their husbands, hoping to send, make enough money to send back for them later. And this son of a bitch just jumps in line. Oh, hey, and everyone's, yeah, come on in. Come live in Hollywood. Bring Megan with you. Now, she is a citizen. She can come in and go as she wants. He should have a time limit, he's married to a citizen, but he should either, he shouldn't be able to cut like that. He's cutting in front of the line. I don't like it. Am I wrong? Am I off base here?
No, not at all. Glenn's drinking for you, Rev.
God bless you, Glenn. God bless you. God bless America. The hell with the UK, We beat them once, we'll beat them again if we got it.
Well put.
You know what you do, too? You team up with Mexico. I think we should team up with Mexico and invade Canada.
Ooh, Katie's got a point here. Rev, take a look at that comment.
That's right. She's not a citizen. She is Canadian. She is Canadian. I knew that. I forgot. So we got a Canadian and a Brit. Both jump in the line to come here and take jobs away from good, hardworking Americans, or taking immigration spots away from people from Mexico who want to come here and make a better life for themselves or anywhere else in the world. It's ridiculous. Someone get them two over here to cut my grass, motherfucker. Who do they think they are? They're going to cut in line because they got money. They can do whatever they want, right?
Someone also said,
"Royal guy, I'm a Hollywood actress." Hey.
They probably got the vaccine. Someone commented.
Oh, they got the vaccine. All them people take care of themselves. They take care of each other. My 600-pound governor got his vaccine. You know what else he did? Hey, people who aren't in Illinois might not understand this, but you know who got the vaccine? There are doctors out there struggling to find an appointment for their 88, 97-year-old parents to get the vaccine. But every friggin' inmate in Illinois has gotten it already. You know why? My 600-pound governor. I think that might be next week's show, my 600-pound governor. He had to make sure that, hey, did you rape a baby? Here's your vaccine. Oh, are you a World War II veteran? Back in the line, asshole. That's how it works here. Piss me off. These people could piss off the good humor, man. I'll tell you that much. Yeah, you're right. They probably got the vaccine. You royal people come in, they sit in Hollywood, and they sit there. They just tell other people what to do, and honor me, give me more, and then they come tell us how to live. Hey, you shouldn't drive your car to work every day. I'm going to take my limousine to my private jet and helicopter the hell over to Indiana to tell those people to stay the fuck home and not drive their car to work every day. Meanwhile, people are they're swimming across the Rio Grande just to get here to try to make a measly few bucks working in the kitchen for $8 an hour. And this asshole and his Canadian wife come over here and they think they could just cut in line in front of everybody else. The hell with them. Send them back to Toronto.
Rev, I love it today. How much coffee did you have?
I had way too much coffee and way not enough whiskey. But, hey, you know what? The world is going to hell in a hell basket. You know what I'm saying? It's just not like it's supposed to be. All the crazy people, and it's not politics, all right? It's crazy people. You know how they say the squeaky wheel gets the oil? Well, it's like going to a grocery store and all the wheels are squeaking. And the only thing that's going on is you just can't stand the noise. And then I feel like the basket in a grocery cart where all the wheels are squeaky and you're just annoying the hell out of me.
So you're saying what you feel is you're going down the beer aisle and there's that poor little old lady trying to push the cart with that front wheel going. And they're going. Yeah.
The right wheel's going, the left wheel's going, the cart's going all over the place. And you know what happens is nobody gets your shopping done.
Because you know what? Some guy or girl thought of a great idea that we're going to make emergency brakes on these carts and we're going to lay a little wire around the whole parking lot. So when you go past it like a dog fence, the wheels are going to lock up. Well, if you lift the carts over that thing, they still push fine.
I went to a place. The wheels locked up on me going down. They didn't have, you know how you got to have a handicap ramp? You know, it started around 1975, right when the Muppets were using the N-word. You had to have a handicap ramp. This brand new grocery store didn't have a handicap ramp for your shopping cart. How the hell do you get it down? So I picked it up and got it down, and it locked up on me, goddamn thing, because I had to go around on the sidewalk to get it into the parking lot. How the hell you lock up the goddamn thing? You know what? I blame Donald Trump for all that. It happened long before he come around, but hey, it seems to be the thing to do. It's him or Obama. Maybe it's both of them. You ever think maybe Donald Trump and Barack Obama teamed up together just to stick it to everybody? Hey, they're probably like best friends. They sit back and laugh at us all. Speaking of politics, Brother Carlito, guess what? I forgot to even tell you about this stuff.
What? Do you want to go to Cancun?
I do, because it's National Margarita Day.
Oh.
Look at that. Congratulations. Happy National Margarita Day.
Wait, is it today?
I think it is.
You know who would know the best? Our congregation. They seem to like to drink.
No.
True story, Rev.
It is National Margarita Day. While you're asking a congregation, you know, this guy got in a little bit of trouble.
Yes, he did.
Because Texas was snowed out.
Or snowed in.
Or snowed in. And what better time to go to Mexico than when it's snowing at home? Problem is, you know, like, people died because Texas isn't supposed to get snow. And he probably should have stayed home and done his job. I liked him a lot better when he was Eddie Munster's doll.
Oh, that's excellent.
Look at that. Did you know that Ted Cruz was on the Munsters as Eddie's doll?
Did not know that.
Yeah, that's him when he was 4 years old. He still had the beard, and it was him.
Now, Rev, who's from Texas again? Carrie?
Carrie.
No.
Carrie's from Texas.
Now, Carrie, I'm going to call you out right here. And this is not towards you. This is to all the Texans out there. Now, we're from the Midwest. And I'm not going to lie, I was around YouTube and, you know, I take part in TikTok and laugh a little bit. But you had all these people crying. There's water coming in from my lights. Oh, my God, it's pouring out of the ceiling. Okay, here's how this works. If you have an extension cord And in the extension cord, you have a power strip. I'm making this an easy example. And in the power strip, you have a fan. Maybe you have a disco light. Maybe you have another fan. Maybe you have a TV plugged into it. That's 4 things. Maybe a hair dryer, too. 5. Probably wouldn't work, but you still with me, Rev, on this one? Now,
Yeah, I
all
got
this
you.
shit goes downhill. Maybe you drop the hair dryer in water and it starts sparking. The fan knocks over the TV starts sparking, and you go and you try to possibly grab everything out of the power strip that's possibly going to start a big mess. Or you follow the power strip to the wall, which is probably a yay distance away, and you unplug it. My point being is, if you own a home, people, I remember the one thing the inspector told me is, this is where your water valve is to the house, and know how to shut your breaker off. 2 things. He said, if you remember 2 things, all these people had to do was go out to the front of their house, because some of the older people in Texas showed them doing this and shutting their main valve off to their house. Obviously, they still didn't have power, but it would stop all the pipes from breaking in the house. That's just Midwest cold weather 101.
I got a friend, brother Carlito. Now, here it gets really cold. You open up the cabinet doors under the sink and you let the water trickle all night so it don't freeze. But I don't know what you do in this case. My friend has got a well, and the whole goddamn well froze up. The hell do you do? I don't know. Does trickle in the water keep the well from freezing up?
Well, I would shut down the feet. Now, this is Bob Vila speaking here.
Okay, Bob.
I would shut down the main from the well to the house. I would shut it off.
Okay.
Then I would go to the lowest part of the house and open up the sinks and let all the water drain out. So at this point, as bad as it was there, we've drained all water out of the pipes to the lowest point.
Okay.
And then you hope for the best that it warms up, because that's getting drastic, but they were in drastic measures.
Right. See, their problem was their pipes didn't burst, but they had no water. So they had to go get snow and melt it to flush the toilets.
But then the people that didn't shut off their valves busted their pipes. It was a catastrophe. It was
nuts. And it was, you couldn't. The problem was it's not normal for there. We're ready for it. ComEd is ready for it as much as ComEd can be ready for anything. Down there, they weren't ready for it. But people are getting $10,000 electricity bills.
It's screwed up.
Yeah, because the electric company wasn't ready. Hey, guess what, electric company? That's your job. Everybody's got a little risk with their. Well, you know what, pal? You weren't ready for a snowstorm. Well, you can't give someone a $10,000 bill for 3 days worth of electricity. You should have had it right. They paid their bill. You give them the electricity. You don't have to pay extra because you screwed up. I got into an argument, but some people lost their kid because he froze to death. Now, granted, I would have put the kid in bed with me, and you cuddle close, you keep the body warmth there and everything. But at the same time,
I knew a friend, Rev. I knew a friend who had his basement flooded from a rainstorm. Okay, I won't mention any names, and it wasn't my house. And he came to find out that his flood insurance wasn't for fresh water in his basement, meaning
what
coming in from the outside doors and rolling down the stairs and filling the basement up, 3-4 steps high, right? But if the sewer backed up and it was sewage in his basement, that liquid was covered. So what do you think this guy did?
I would take a shit in that water, throw some toilet paper down there, say, hey, look, it backed up.
Guess what?
What
happened? Guess what was covered? Wasn't fresh water anymore.
Are you kidding?
True story. And it wasn't me. Knock on wood, I live next to a stream. The Rev could attest to it.
Oh, you went out. You showed everybody back in.
That's right. And I've never, I don't want to say it, but it's never happened. But somebody else I know pretty close by was like, I'll be a son of a bitch if they're not covering this after all the money I paid.
Right.
Next thing you know is a little Caddyshack turd floating around.
I don't blame him. I'd have a poop party. Everybody come over, take a shit in my basement.
You delivered Home Depot buckets. Everybody in here tonight.
Everybody take a dump here and just pour it into my basement door. You gotta, hey, they're gonna use all the tricks they can to not pay.
Ugh.
You gotta use all the tricks you can to get them to pay.
Right.
Insurance companies are the worst. You gotta have them in case there's an emergency. And then when there's an emergency, they do everything they can do to not cover the emergency. What the hell do we need you for, Warren Buffett?
Oh, God. What else you got, Rev? You're all wound up. You're jacked up. I love it.
Well, let's see. Oh, I know. We can't make fun of Ted Cruz by himself. I mean, all that guy did was try to get the hell out of the snowstorm. We got to remember this guy.
Oh, he's in deep shit, huh?
Now, this guy had the balls to put out a book about leadership during the coronavirus halfway through the coronavirus. We're still dealing with it. This book's been on the shelves since like August.
Now, one more thing, Rev. Didn't he submit his daily news conferences for an Emmy Award?
Probably.
No, I think he did.
I don't doubt it. I'm sure he did. So this is more of a honest account of his book, The American Crisis Leadership Sessions, such as leadership lessons, such as lesson 1. Don't count all the old people who died, by Andrew Cuomo. But, you know, when it rains, it pours. He was grabbing her thigh. He was rubbing up against, telling, oh, you got to come over and, do things with me. And guess what? She's running for office. Doesn't work for him anymore. Hashtag me too, Andrew Cuomo. Brother Carlio, I got while we're here, I got to pile onto the whole family.
Okay, go ahead.
You're Italian of descent, right?
I am. I still got Portillo's in my mouth. Go ahead.
Keep chewing. You just got to nod, talk with your hands, whatever you guys do.
Hey, what do you got for me, buddy?
Hey, so Chris Cuomo, who is this guy's something or other, son or something, next in line to be governor. He's got a show on CNN. And over his summer, at a live event, and some guy called him Fredo.
Yes.
Which we know is an insult.
Yes. Right? He wanted to punch the guy.
He wanted to throw. He said, I wanted to throw. I was good. He threatened to throw the guy down the stairs. He said, call me that again, I'm going to throw you down the stairs. And, of course, the big pussy backed down. Not Cuomo. The other guy called him Fredo. If you're going to call a guy Fredo, you got to stick with it, right? You can't back down.
From the guy's tone and his language, I don't think he was afraid to fight the guy.
No, not at all.
No.
But then, here's where the guy loses me, or Cuomo loses me, right? Now, Fredo is a reference to the Godfather movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
When did the Godfather come out?
What, 70s, everybody? I think 70s. Late 70s.
74, 78, something like that.
I'm going to check for you, Rev.
So, hey, by the time it came out, Italian Americans were pretty ingrained in American society by then, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're not, the Irish and the Italians come over in the end of the 19th century. We were swarthy immigrants. No one wanted us around, right? By 1970s, the Irish and the Italians were cops and priests and politicians and businessmen. They were not, sweeping up shit anymore. This Cuomo, and we're going to get it, it all ties together. Look, all these three tie together.
Warning, royally fucked up, and cancel this. Go, Rev.
It all ties together. So Chris Cuomo compares being called Fredo, which is a 1970s reference to a Godfather movie, to a black person being called the N-word. Honest to God, that's what he said. Now, Fredo, which is from a 1970s movie that came out while Italians were no longer oppressed peoples in America. And he's comparing that word to a word that goes back hundreds of years through slavery and racial injustice and oppression and Jim Crow and all awful things that had lynchings and stuff that are associated with the N-word. And he's saying, they're pretty much the same. What the hell is he talking about? You can't. Fredo is nothing like the N-word. This is a guy, this is how goofy he is. He's going to throw a guy down the stairs, first of all.
Isn't this the same guy who said he really doesn't need a show on CNN?
Did he say that? Because I don't need his show on CNN either.
He was trending,
especially when he does stupid stuff like that.
Yes, but I think so. He made some reference where he didn't need the show. Like they need him.
Well, I got a good idea. Let's try CNN without it and see what happens.
I think
We'll just give Anderson Cooper an extra half hour and we'll blitzer the other half hour.
Now, I do believe to our congregation, Casino, great movie. Goodfellas, great movie. I think The Godfather set the tone and made people understand how it all went down. What do you think, Rev?
Oh, I think, first of all, I just watched Godfather for the first time last year.
I got to go.
I'd seen Goodfellas. I love Goodfellas. I saw Casino. I'd seen, all the kinds of movies. But I do think that Godfather was first. And it was the first one, and everybody else was kind of trying to be that.
Well, it set the culture for the Italians.
There's no Sopranos without The Godfather.
Absolutely not. It's just Sopranos was the TV series of the day-to-day life of The Godfather.
Right. And there's no Goodfellas, and there's none of that stuff happens without The Godfather.
Now, I do think that Casino would have never worked unless you had Goodfellas and you had The Godfather before that, because Casino, when you watch Casino, you understood how the old Italians made their money and had to wash it into play when they eventually got to Vegas. But you wouldn't understand. You would, but long term, Goodfellas help you understand that.
I agree. I think, what happened in the 70s is they took a lot of the things that were unrealistic portrayals in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, and they started to make them more real. So those Al Capone movies, the film noir detective stuff, and the Untouchables type of TV shows, and the movies of the 40s and 50s, there was all gangster stuff, but it's just machine guns out of cars, and they don't get into the culture at all. They were like the comic book version. And now the 70s come around, and Francis Ford Coppola does the realistic type of version with Mario Puzo, right?
And you know another good one, too?
What?
That took all cultures together. American Gangster. Denzel Washington, our good friend Armand Asante.
I like both them actors. The Little Things is good. It's new on HBO.
Rev, you're going to have to go do a movie night, I think.
I got to do a movie night, I think.
Who saw American Gangster out there? That it was kind of how they tried to work together. Obviously, everybody had their own crews back in the day. What about, watch this, everybody. Rev, tell me you saw The Irishman.
The who? I see James Cagney.
Did you see the movie The Irishman?
No. Who's in that? Is it the guy who says, I got a certain set of skills, I'm going to come get you? Liam Neeson.
The Irishman.
Who's that?
Joe Pesci, Robert De Niro. He got everybody back together again.
Joe Pesci's not Irish.
He was in that movie.
Really? Well, he's a good actor then. I guess he's short and dark-haired. That's pretty close.
Now, if you start The Irishman tonight, you'll finish it by our next show next week. That's how long it is.
That's why I didn't watch it. I remember that. It's a 2-week-long movie.
Oh, my God. Halfway through it, you pause it, and you're like, Jesus, it's still got 3.5 hours to go. I had to shave twice.
You got to shave twice during this show.
Oh, God.
Mike Oakley's got a good, that's the Irishman we watched. You want a good...
Oh, the Leprechaun, yes.
Yeah. I like the one with Amy Adams. What do they call it? I forget. Leprechaun Day or something. Leap Year. No. But you want a good movie, watch God's Pocket.
Okay. How about another good movie, Pope of Greenwich Village?
I heard it's good.
They cut my tongue, Charlie. They cut my tongue. That's all I got from it.
I haven't seen it.
No?
No.
Watch the Revs movie. That's right.
That's right.
In between
I'm
engagements.
with the guy from American Gangster.
Yes, sir. Mr. Armand Asante. He's going to be on the show one time. I'm going to call him up.
That would be nice. We should do it in a fancier place or something.
Yes.
Although I got extra stools here if he's interested.
You mean stools we could throw in the basement full of water, or stools you could sit on?
Well, I have both. I got buckets too, but I just meant to sit on.
Okay. All right.
So we were getting this somewhere, weren't we?
Oh, yeah, the three things. They're all tying together.
Tying them together.
How we tying this together?
Culture. I showed you the Muppets. So, since we're talking about books, here are some things, besides the Muppets coming with warnings. I looked up things that the crazy people want canceled completely. Are you ready for this, Brother Carlito?
Lay it on me, brother.
We got to cancel this one. It's offensive to everyone.
What?
Alfred Hitchcock's classic movie, Psycho. Now, you might think, wow, it's offensive because it's one of the first with a shower scene, even though you don't see boobs. Nope. It's offensive because there's a lady in her bra on the cover. Nope. It's offensive because a guy slashes a woman and just knifes her to death while he just murders the hell out of her. Nope. Because he peeps through a hole while she's getting dressed. No. You know why Psycho should be canceled, according to the people?
Rev, why should Psycho be canceled, according to the people?
Because Norman Bates cross-dresses, and that is a negative portrayal of transgender people. Now, here's my thing.
Would his credit be he or him, or his or hers?
They think he's a they.
Okay.
Here's my deal. Anyone who's familiar and been following me for any time, motherfucker. Anyone who's been following me for any time knows my stance on marriage equality and rights for people, regardless of their gender identity, their preferences, and whatnot. Hey, we all deserve the same rights under the law and freedom to be who we want and pursue it. My argument is Norman Bates is not a transvestite, nor is he transgender, transsexual, or even cross-dresser. He's nuts. He's plain old nuts. He doesn't dress up like a woman because he feels like a woman. He dresses up like his mother because he's crazy. It is not a portrayal of a transvestite. It's a portrayal of a man whose mother died. Sorry, spoiler alert. A portrayal of a man whose mother died and dresses up like her and kills women who she thinks are after her son, which is him, and is naughty and dirty, sexy.
So he misses his mom and then stabs someone in the shower.
Right. That's not transvestite.
No, that's Psycho.
That's Psycho. Thank you.
That's the name of the movie.
There's a movie, Psycho, which is probably rude, politically incorrect to call someone psycho, but he is. You ready for the next one?
Yes. Forrest Gump. Let me guess.
Forrest Gump.
For the record, bring me back in, Rev.
Sorry.
The Rev and I have not spoke today. Is that correct, Rev?
That is correct, Brother Carlito. We have not spoken once.
I have not even paid attention what the Rev prepped in the show today. Is that correct, Reverend?
That is correct. I did all this segment myself.
Yes. He even checked the weather, and it was 69. So, on the Forrest Gump topic, I am going to go with they feel that possibly a slow person, mentally slow, is been taken advantage in that movie. Am I right?
Brother Carlito, that makes sense. If that were the case, I would say, hey, you know what? We might want to rethink this. That is not what they're offended by.
Well, that's what I would take just from watching the movie.
You would think, here's some things that happen in Forrest Gump. He's mentally slow. What did you call it? Challenge learning disability?
A little bit below spectrum, right?
Right. He's on the spectrum.
On the spectrum.
That's not what they're offended by. His mom prostitutes herself out to get him into a good school. Nope. That's not what they're offended by. He befriends an African-American guy with a speech impediment. Nope, that's not what they're offended by. You know what they're offended by in Forrest Gump? These silly...
Let me guess. Does it have to do with that picture?
No. It's nothing to do with that picture.
What are they offended by?
They're offended by the negative portrayal of...
A box of chocolates?
I wish you were a box of chocolates. I could say, well, at least you're just, chocolate eaters. They don't like the portrayal of activists and protesters. It is an anti-activist, anti-protester movie. For 20 fucking years, the people who didn't go to Vietnam stayed home and made movies. And they portrayed Vietnam veterans as crazy people, violent people, bad people, and themselves, the hippies, as heroes. Well, that's one perspective. Now along comes a movie that says, hey, you know what, the veterans were not all the same. They're not the way they were portrayed. And not all the protesters were all that, clean. Mean under the armpit clean. We knew that a long time ago. Like their motives were not all that pure. And so, well, we should cancel that. You know what?
You know what I have to say about that, Rev?
Throw a brick through a wall? I don't know. What do you got to say about that, Brother Carlito?
Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
That's right. You know what you're going to get is a brick through the window if you piss those people off. Yeah. So that's why they went, now here's another one that needs to be canceled by these people. You ready?
You show me it, and I'll try to guess it.
Okay.
There's a lot here.
There is. It's not a perfect movie.
No. They didn't like what they served?
Mess with the bull, you're going to get the horns.
Oh, whoa.
Oh, that's right. That's your Malacca thing.
Stop with that. It's called the Maloik, all right? Not the Malacca. What do you think this is, La Cucaracha?
Malacca means jagoff in Greek. I'm getting all my things confused.
Okay, go ahead.
Malacca means. Anyhow, The Breakfast Club. They don't like it. Many, many reasons. We can go on a list. First of all, everybody's white. Guess what? They live in a rich suburb. Everybody's white. If not everybody, a lot of them. The fact that the 4 that got detention or 5 that got detention that day happen to be white, roll the dice is, how those are the odds. There were schools like that. There still are. Where most of the people are white. And the 5 assholes are white. But that's not really what that's part of the thing. First, Claire, the pretty redhead here, she was objectified by the punk up at the top, Judd Nelson. Sexualized.
Okay.
They're teenagers. Here's my problem. Is that good behavior? No. No, you don't want to sexualize people and objectify them, unless, of course, they look like this. But you have to, what this did was it delved into life as a teenager at the time. Now, I didn't know anybody like this. These kids had more money than anyone I knew. Okay? But there are certain aspects that are what they explored that, people of that age could identify with. Being a geek and not fitting in. Being preppy and caring what people care about your hair. Being a jock, not being a jock. Being the outcast. Being a weird girl. I did the order to make it snow. I did that all the time in school. I identified with them. Doesn't mean this is not a how to live movie. Hey, this is how you got to be. And our movies don't need to be that. It's not about, This is how you should be. Dress up like your mom and slaughter a girl in the shower. It's not a how-to movie. It's a goddamn, hey, here's his human experience. It's not all good. Some things are bad about it. And we're flawed. You got to be able to explore that crap. You can't just cancel it because it explores a part of your human life that isn't so pretty, isn't perfect. Now they want to, the other thing, Little House on the goddamn Prairie, they don't like. You know why? Native Americans are not portrayed very well. It's a book about a white family expanding to the West. Of course, the Native Americans aren't going to be portrayed very well. Their Native Americans were defending their home, and the white people were walking through it, riding through it, and taking it over. But written from it's historical. Rather than say no one should read Little House on the Prairie, how about promote a book written from the other side and written from the Native American side and shows their perspective? I don't like canceling people. Don't silence people. Don't shut them up. Now, was Laura Ingalls Wilder's one side of a multi-sided story? Yeah. But don't shut her up. That's what happened to people. It's from the white expansionist perspective, or the frontier people. We don't shut it out like it never happened. We never learned anything from that. So rather than that, you expand it out and promote ideas and stories from the Native American perspective, or the African American they're what they went through at the time, and don't shut people up. Open it up. Holy shit! Look up. Here's the other thing you're going to want to get rid of, and they've been trying to get rid of it ever since. This is one of my favorite books, Huckleberry Finn. If I were to open
Sanctity of Revenge was your favorite book.
What's that?
Sanctity of Revenge was your favorite book.
Oh, I was getting to that. If you want a book that's never been banned from schools or libraries, in The Sanctity of Revenge, which I don't have a copy of right here, has never been banned by anyone yet. But Huckleberry Finn, if I were to open it up and start reading it to you, I'd have to censor myself because the N-word is all over this book. But you know why? It was published in 1884 and 1885. So we're talking just a few years after the Civil War. And you know what this is? It's a satire about racism written in the 1800s. Imagine that. This is a guy, Mark Twain, telling a very racist society how stupid racism is. How can you write a book about racism without using the language of racists? You can't. You take the N-word out of this book, and it's just a weird story of a young boy and a middle-aged man spending way too much time on a raft. It's got to stay. It's how we learn. You eliminate history, and you're going to repeat it. Stop canceling things out. If you're going to, don't burn books, unless it's this one. This is what we're turning into, Brother Carlito. Them's the Nazis right there. They're burning books and telling people we don't want to remember things like that. We don't want to history things like that. And that's what I got to say today. Hello to your little friend.
Say hello to my little friend, and he's with you today, Rev.
God bless.
He feels you. I say we do a peace shot, brother.
I like it. Hang on. I hope everyone's... I want to see, what does Nelson Toth think? I haven't seen him.
Yeah, he's here.
There you go.
Do you know who he's... Can you still hear me, or you shut the mic off?
Did I shut the mic off? No, I got you. No, I hear you.
So, Nelson's pissed off that they're going to ban a video game in Chicago. You know about that?
No. You're right. See, he's right. What video game, Nelson?
Was it... hang on, let's go back. Nelson, help us out here. They were going to ban... Let's see, where's he at? Come on, Nelson. Speak.
See, here's it. While you're looking for that, You don't have to agree with everything that comes on. Like Nelson said, God gave us remote controls. But at the same time, we got to be able to risk offending some of ourselves to really delve into the shit that we got to deal with. Grand Theft Auto. Hey, if I want to virtually beat up hookers and steal cars, they should be able to do it in my own home.
I'm telling you. This world's going to hell in a handbasket.
I don't know why they want to ban Grand Theft Auto in Chicago when they're not even banning real carjackers in Chicago, you know?
Hey, Rev?
Yeah.
I thought the dog wanted to come and be on the show, but I just figured out why he's here.
He gonna poop on you?
No, he wants the French fries. You gotta get out of here.
Look at that. Are there cheese on them?
No. Hey, you want to see the fries? Here you go. Okay. All right, get out of here.
That ain't gonna get him to leave.
No, now in case it floods in my house, I have him shit in the water.
I like that. He's gonna be pooping Portillo's fries.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's have a shot.
Let's have a peace shot to all the people who've risked offending us just to kind of explore us in the world. Good luck to you, and I hope you don't get canceled.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
But
about.
in case you do, there's a new Punky Brewster coming up.
Salute.
We got that going for us. God bless. Peace shot. Peace and harmony, everybody. That is beautiful.
Oh, a little Malort. Oh. Whew. Rev, good show tonight, buddy. You were on a train bound from Memphis. I said that wrong.
Doesn't take much.
I'm telling you. The congregation was dialed in. They were feeding you information. They were agreeing with you. That's the thing here. You can't pull the sheets over these people's eyes.
No, and I think if I went way off the tracks and I was wrong, they'd call me on it. They tell me I'm wrong.
And you know who we should have done a peace shot to? Because we're about a week late. Whether what's either side of the aisle you stand on, a guy who was, I call him an icebreaker in radio, Rush Limbaugh.
Okay. You know what he did?
What did he do?
Here's what he did. First of all, I think most of what he said and did was an act. I read a story about him and Elton John.
Do tell.
They're not dirty, but so.
Wait, hang on. Before you start.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yes. Be ready for this. This is going to offend people who hate Rush Limbaugh and people who like Rush Limbaugh.
Okay.
Be ready to be offended by, people who's getting along.
Okay, go ahead.
So, Rush and his soon-to-be wife are on vacation in Hawaii. And just happened to be staying at the same hotel Elton John and his husband David are staying in. While they're there, something happens to Rush Limbaugh. He's got to go into the hospital. Oh, I got my... So he goes in the hospital, and Rush Limbaugh happens to see... No, Rush Limbaugh's in the hospital.
Uh-huh.
Elton John happens by and sees Rush Limbaugh's girlfriend.
Oh. Well, we know nothing's going on there.
No. He's just a nice guy. And he says, how's Rush doing? I heard he's in the hospital. He asks how he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, Rush Limbaugh goes on radio all the time and makes fun of gay people.
Mm-hmm.
Elton John, no secret, is gay. He's there with his husband. But he's a kind human being. He says, how's Rush doing? Well, Rush's girlfriend, when she talks to Rush, relays this happening. She says, Elton John asked how you were doing. And Rush Limbaugh's response to her was, did he hope I was dead? She's like, no. He was seriously concerned and asking how you were. Now, turns out, Rush Limbaugh's girlfriend, big Elton John fan. So now they're going to get married, right? And they're going to have a big wedding. Guess who she wants to perform at the wedding?
The Muppets.
Close. Elton John.
Okay.
So, Elton John's manager comes to him and says, listen, I got this request. I know you're going to say no, but I don't know how you want me to say no. Elton John says, well, what is it? He says, Rush Limbaugh wants you to sing at his wedding. Elton John says, I don't want to say no. Say, yes, I want to do that. His manager can't believe it. Elton John said, I want to build bridges. I want to get to understand people who don't seem to like me for whatever reason and who I don't have things in common with. I want to go and sing. So Elton John goes and he sings at Rush Limbaugh's wedding. While he's performing, he makes a lot of jokes about the fact that he is there singing for Rush Limbaugh's wedding for obvious reasons, right? Turns out they don't become tight, good friends, but they're friendly. And he says, Rush Limbaugh is actually a very gracious, nice guy. Now, does that excuse the bad things Rush Limbaugh said on the radio? No. Did everything Rush Limbaugh say on the radio was bad? No. He said a lot of things that were right. He said a lot of things that were wrong. But if Rush Limbaugh and Elton John can get along, how come we can't? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You don't have to agree on everything. And some people are mean. But I think Rush Limbaugh, I think he knew what he was doing. He's like, hey, I can make a lot of money here talking a certain way, so I'm going to do that.
So sometimes it's good to disagree, to agree to disagree.
Exactly.
You know what I was going with there. I was just a little tongue-tied.
I understand. But there would be no Fox News. There wouldn't be an MSNBC. There's no Stephen Colbert. There's no Daily Show. And there's no, obviously, Hannity and Levin and all those people without Rush Limbaugh. What's his name?
Tucker Carlson.
The whole thing started, the left and the right started with Rush Limbaugh back in the day.
Because everybody said, you can't do that. He said, no, I'm going to do it by myself.
Right.
You know what? He was kind of like, do you remember when you and I were in the car in Florida? And we listened to the first day Howard Stern was on the air, remember?
Right. Yes.
When he said, pound sand, I'm starting my own network.
Right, he did. And, there was people that radio wasn't talking to at all. And Rush Limbaugh said, well, if someone talks to them, he's going to get a lot of ratings and a lot of money, and that's what he did.
Rev, I think we covered the gamut tonight.
I think so. And there's a perfect example of don't silence people. Let all voices be heard and filter out the shit for yourself. You got to sift through it and find the gold nuggets. But you don't just tell the sand, all the sand's got to go away, except for the parts that I think have gold. It doesn't work that way. You got to let all the voices be heard, even the ugly ones, even the wrong ones, even the stupid ones. Fuck, I mean, most of them are stupid. If we silenced all the stupid people, there'd be no one talking but me and Brother Carlito. So you got to let stupid people talk. Well, of course, the congregation will be able to talk too. You can't tell people to shut up. Just let them talk. Once they show themselves to be morons, tune them out. That's all.
Great show, Rev.
God bless. Hey, thanks, Brother Carlito.
I'm telling you, you kicked ass and we took names. And we talked to a lot of people, too.
I hope everybody has a good night tonight and a good weekend and a good week. Are you done?
Yeah, I'm just hanging out, but yeah. I mean, I am spent. My brain hurts. I mean, just thinking of those movies alone.
Right. I'm going to go watch movies I shouldn't watch anymore.
Oh, I got a good movie for you to watch, Rev. I actually watched... I had a long weekend. I watched 2 series.
Okay.
1 series. And 2 movies, documentaries. 1, David Foster on Netflix. Don't quote me on the name of the doc, but it's David Foster.
Okay.
Talk about a life-saving moment. Now I'm gonna forget the guy's name. He was a Broadway star, short black guy. It's the one that David Foster hit in a car on the Pacific Coast Highway. Where's Nelson Tull? He'll come up with his name.
Nelson Toe knows everything.
Oh, it's gonna drive me nuts.
Ben
Let me look
Vereen.
it up. Does
Gregory
anybody know?
Hines. Who is it? I'm thinking of.
Hang on. I'm gonna find out right now. So that was one of the ones I watched. The second one I watched was hang on, Nelson Stumped. Hang on. Who?
Yeah.
There you go. Mike Oakley knew.
Mike Oakley knew? Ben Vereen.
Yeah. So did you hear?
Carlito.
Yeah.
I want you to watch something carefully, real quick.
All right.
While we're talking about Ben Vereen.
Okay, right now I'd like to introduce Ben Vereen, a of a
Mal. Who knew? So, anyways, if you guys didn't see this, go to Netflix. David Foster talks about him working really late. No alcohol, no drugs were involved at all. He's driving down Pacific Coast Highway, and all of a sudden he says, I'm doing the speed limit, but there's a lot of curves in the road. He said, and all of a sudden I see this shadow. Before I could react and hit the brakes, I hit this person. Hit him hard. He said, I knew I killed him. He said he was dead. There's no way. And they play the 911 call on the documentary. Like, hey, you need to send help. I just hit somebody. I think I killed him. Well, it was Ben. Ben stumbled across Pacific Coast Highway, and he got nailed by the car. So he didn't know who he hit. Right. And the cop must have pulled the ID when they airlifted him out and told David Foster, they're like, Mr. Foster, do you know who you just hit? This is Ben. And he's like, holy shit, I killed him. Anyways, he wound up living.
Right.
So he tried to get in touch with him. What's that?
I kind of remember hearing that Ben Vereen had gotten run over and was in really bad shape.
So David Foster hit him.
I didn't know that.
Wound up being Ben was having a brain aneurysm.
Oh,
and
shit.
he doesn't remember. He was like hallucinating like as if he were on drugs because of the pressure of his brain.
Right.
So he calls up David Foster, and he, after many months rehab, and he says, "Hey, David, thanks for what? How did he put it? Thanks for saving my life." And basically, the fact that he hit him broke some bones and such. But when they brought him to the hospital, they found out he was having a brain aneurysm that he was having for quite some time. That's why he was hallucinating. Had nothing to do with the car hit. The fact that David Foster hit him. Got him to the hospital. Otherwise, neurosurgeon said he would have been dead in 20 minutes or so.
Wow.
So there you go.
One way to relieve pressure is bleeding.
Getting hit by a car.
Yeah.
But yeah, watch that. Another one, Rev.
Yeah.
Last Breath. I know what you're going to say. But it's about tech divers in the North Sea. And it's a great documentary. They'll call it Last Breath. You got to check that one out. And then also Ted Kaczynski. It's the series on Netflix about the Unabomber.
I was going to say, I thought that was going to bomb.
Yeah.
I watched All the Little Things with Denzel Washington.
Oh, nice.
Very good movie. But everything he's in is good. Man on Fire is amazing.
Rev, it was a good show.
Hey, God bless, Brother Carlito. Thank you.
Take us home.
All right. Hey, as usual, I want to thank Brother Carlito for all his hard work he puts into the show every week. And I want to thank each and every one of you for being here with us and what do you call? Participating with us and putting up with us and all that. And we're going to see you again next week, I hope. Same Rev time, same Rev channel. In the meantime, love one another. Be kind. Oh, by the way, the executive producer of Jeopardy should not be hosting Jeopardy. We'll talk about that and some other things. Maybe my 600-pound governor next week. God bless. I'll have one for you if you have one for each one of me. No. You have one for me, and I have one for each one of you. Till next time. Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Fuck this shit, I'm out. Fuck this shit, I'm out. No thanks. Don't mind me. I'ma just grab my stuff and leave. Excuse me, please. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Nope. Fuck this shit, I'm out. Alright then. I don't know what the fuck just happened, but I don't really care. I'ma get the fuck up out of here. Fuck this shit, I'm out.
Just when you think this show is terrible, something wonderful happens.
What?
It ends.